Hey guys, it's Shelley from Conquest Journals again, back with another video in our vlog series Small Talk. It's about being a small business in the pop culture industry. In my last vlog, I talked about sort of what does it mean to be licensed, because I think that intricacies of how it works or why it matters is important. It's important to all the brands, certainly, who put their blood, sweat, and tears into being a licensed brand, paying those royalties, working within those boundaries. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the process. You know, I'm not going to be able to get into a lot of the nitty-gritty detail, but I can tell you sort of like our story arc, how it happened. I need to first say you can find us at conquestjournal.com. We are officially licensed Supernatural, Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, Sabrina, Riverdale, and the Great British Baking Show planners, journals, notebooks, stickers, and crafty accessories. Second, shout out to Alana King, A King. She's our editor. And then a shout out to Creation Entertainment, because we would not be here today had they not had their awesome Supernatural conventions that connected us with the Supernatural fans. And really, that's why we're in business today. And I've said that before, are the Supernatural fans. So we were at a Supernatural convention. We had a brown binder. It just had things in it. Lore that was not under any copyright. It was open source. It was about vampires and werewolves and stories of old that their copyrights have, you know, obviously run out a long time ago. And we were selling them, and they were a binder with sleeves and pages for your autographs and photo ops and all the fun things you do at conventions, particularly at Creation Entertainment events, because they're a much more intimate setting. You have your photo ops, you have your autographs. It's a really different, just a more intimate, personal experience at those conventions than when you go to the really big conventions with the big exhibit halls. So anyway, we were in Pasadena, and a Hot Topic buyer, I didn't know she was a Hot Topic buyer, and she was super cool, and I will be forever grateful to her. She came up and she said, "I really like your stuff." And I was like, "Thank you." And she said, "You know, have you ever wholesaled before?" And I said, "No, but we'd love to." And she had me her card, and we sent her product. And I was like, "Oh my God, that was a Hot Topic buyer." What? I mean, I was totally freaked out. You know, she said, "You need to be licensed." We are a licensee. And that means that Hot Topic themselves is licensed to design and manufacture products, Supernatural products and other properties for Warner Brothers, on top of also selling other companies' licensed things. That's what, you know, that's what Hot Topic does. You know, you never want to hurt your relationship with your licensor, because it's a valuable and important relationship. And, you know, you're kind of partners in this together. So you have to make sure to protect that and respect that relationship. We were told we needed to be licensed, and introductions were made to the people at the time who we connected with at Warner Brothers to start pitching it. Now, we're a pretty small brand, comparatively speaking. And I remember, I mean, we did not know what we were doing, really. I mean, it's a little crazy. We did not know what we were doing. We were trying really hard. We were putting together a great presentation, and, you know, we had a really clear vision for some really great things we wanted to do for Supernatural. To us, Supernatural was the biggest brand at the time. We also talked to a few people that we knew who were involved in licensing, who gave us lots of great advice. And I think in my first video, I said that all of the relationships you make in business, even in your personal life as friends, you never know when those relationships might help you. So this person in particular was a licensing executive at a company that I've worked with before, and he was able to give us some really valuable and important advice. And you have to be willing to ask for advice. You have to be willing to ask for help. You have to let people know you need help. Like, how do we do this? What should we expect? You know, blah, blah, blah. How do we negotiate this? It was a pretty long process to be licensed. I think it was 4 months. And I think that's actually pretty quick in terms of normal introductions and then being licensed. And I think for some reason we just got really lucky. And I think the introductions were made, and it was really beneficial for us. So our first license was like an 18-month license for Supernatural. And you can't really start making any of those things until you get your license. Then you finally get access to the official artwork and things that you're supposed to do to produce all of your things. You're supposed to use those pieces of art to produce all of your products. And of course, if making product takes 6 to 8 months, which it does, then the whole first 6 to 8 months of your license, you're really not going to be selling licensed things. I think that was probably the biggest, most eye-opening moment for us, because your license starts and you're part of that contract, probably physically aren't going to be able to sell anything for at least at least 6 to 8 months. You have to learn how they work, you have to learn the process, especially when you're working with the really big brands. We started making licensed things, and Warner Brothers has always been very, very supportive of how we try to push the boundaries and make everything. I mean, for the Supernatural fans, I have to tell you, our account person at Warner Brothers at the time was so incredibly supportive. She fought for us to be able to make John Winchester's Journal because it was all artwork that we produced and created, we researched, and we wanted to replicate from the series. None of those things were already pieces of art, and normally a studio is going to shut it down, and they really fought for it internally for us to be able to make that. So every time you get a John Winchester Journal, you know, it's not just us. I mean, we made it, and it was our idea to do that, and I'm really proud of it. But if Warner Brothers hadn't supported us, we wouldn't have been able to do it. It can be frustrating at times, obviously, because, you know, there are a lot of things I would, oh, the fans would really love this and the fans would really love that. As a fan myself, I want to see this and I want to see that. And you can't always do it. You can't always do it, but I'm always fighting for it. I'm always pushing those boundaries. You know, I think I might be a little bit of a pain in the ass for them. I don't know. Anyway, getting back to the discussion. We were introduced. It took the process 4 months or so, and they decided miraculously to go with us as this really small brand, and we had only had a license with Gen Con. Shout out to my Gen Con people also, you know I love you. And so because we did have another smaller license under our belt, I think that did help us. So we were moving along with our Supernatural stuff, and then the opportunity came about a year into it when we were going to renegotiate, and we needed to be able to have more products, you know, to kind of make it worth Warner Brothers' time to work with us as well. So at that time, the same person who helped us get the John Winchester Journal made also knew I was a huge Harry Potter fan. And she said, we have some openings for the Harry Potter license, I've heard. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? What? And I was afraid because obviously it's a huge commitment and it's a huge responsibility, but unbelievably excited too. So then we started pitching adding Harry Potter to our license. And that took 4 or 5 months on top of that. So I did a lot of research as to what was already made on the product. We did a lot of product development phone calls. We pitched some of our ideas for what we would make with that license and why they should, you know, license us and add us. I think she told us about the potential for the Harry Potter license in May, and we didn't find out that we had gotten the license until December. And then January, we were at a Supernatural creation event, and then Tad Tracy and I went to Universal to celebrate at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter so we could start making Harry Potter things. This was in January of 2018. We didn't get the assets until the end of March of 2018, and Tracy turned around our first Harry Potter planner in about 6 weeks. This was our first Harry Potter product. This was our 2019 planner. This will always have a very special place in my heart. It's beautiful. I love it. Learning the process for Harry Potter, which was a lot more intense even than Supernatural, and working with it and you know, trying to get things made, trying to do things the way we do things so they look like our brand, you know, but also represent Harry Potter the way that they want Harry Potter represented. So that's sort of the story of our timeline from being unlicensed to now making licensed Harry Potter, Supernatural. And then when we added Harry Potter, the next year we then added Sabrina and Riverdale, in particular because I love Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, so I was really excited. We just introduced new notepads for that, and we had a great time making them. You may have seen that we also had posted a Sabrina school agenda, and this probably needs to be another vlog, but we had to pivot. We had some school agendas made, actually, Supernatural, Harry Potter, Sabrina, and Riverdale, before the pandemic hit. We couldn't afford to go ahead and make them, especially taking the risk of not knowing if the school year was even going to be like a normal start time. I mean, it's a dated product. All of our retailers were closed and Universal was closed. We just couldn't risk it. So those are on the back burner, and then maybe a 2021 school year release is what we're hoping for on those. So that's the story of how we went from being unlicensed and a little bit of our licensing process. We renew our license licenses every like 2 years now. If it weren't for the support of the people at Warner Brothers who love the things that we make, you know, we wouldn't be here today. We cannot express our appreciation enough. I feel like in a really big corporate world and an organization of that size where they're dealing with literally hundreds of licensees, you know, we're very fortunate that we've developed some really great friendships with our people at Warner Brothers, and that they do like the things we make. Because for a small business, and this is true, guys, when you run a small business, you are a small business, and so you don't have the clout. You can't just say to a retailer, I'm gonna make this thing. I'm gonna make a Harry Potter planner. You've never seen one of my Harry Potter planners before, but I'm gonna make it and you should carry it in your store. I mean, if they haven't seen it, you don't have a track record, they're not just gonna pick you up. So I think that needs to be in the next conversation. Let's talk about getting distribution. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will do an FAQ follow-up vlog later in the series to kind of answer all the questions I'm getting as we post more and more videos. If you wanna see more of our things, go to conquestjournal.com. Thank you so much, and if you don't subscribe, please do. Thanks, guys.